The only reason that I can see that Lewis doesn't have a coach is either he can't afford it or he's not open-minded enough to try it. Lewis Hamilton is a late breaker. We know that he's a hard breaker as well. And what he's doing crucially is hanging onto that brake pedal, holding onto that brake pedal. The downforce drops out of the car and then the corner's over from that point on. What Lewis needs to do, in my opinion, is get his foot out of the brake pedal, float the car through the corner, keep the minimum speed and downforce active through the middle of the corner. And he's going to find that he has a lot less issues when it comes to rear instability. Here's a quote from Alex Brundle via the F1 Nations podcast. He hits a little bit more brake pressure than Charles. You can draw a line up directly through the wheel speed up to the steering trace and the brake aligns perfectly with a tiny bit of movement. It just upsets the Ferrari everywhere. Can he coach himself out of a lifetime's worth of driving technique to move towards the car? It's one thing to line up the peak brake pressure with the peak steering and say that's generating rear instability. Yes, not every time that Lewis is slow does he have rear instability. Sometimes doesn't have any rear instability. He's hanging on to that brake pedal for too long. Turn 13 in Saudi Arabia. Have a look at the difference in minimum speeds in qualifying. You've got 155 for Lewis and 13 kilometers more Charles Leclerc, 168. Look at the minimum speed, keeping the minimum speed alive, keeping the downforce active. That's worth 2/10 in delta across here. Hamilton in white, if we scroll down, you can see, like I say, he's holding on to that brake pedal, whereas Charles is just trailing out of the brake pedal sooner and quicker and rolling in with more speed. You're not going to have rear instability issues if you're not touching any of the pedals. They're just going to roll and glide the car through the corner and keep the downforce and aerodynamics alive in the middle of the corner. Now, the other thing Alex said was, can he coach himself out of this? Like, what? There's 4,000 billion people trying to make the car go faster and not one person helping Lewis Hamilton get out of this situation? Why does he not have a personal specialist technical coach and mentor to be able to help coach him out of this? Why does he have to coach himself out of this? Did Roger Federer coach himself to 8 Wimbledon Grand Slam championships? I don't think so, right? You need people to make it work. So the only reason that I can see that Lewis doesn't have a coach is either he can't afford it, which is obviously not true, or he's not open-minded enough to try it.